Hello again, and welcome back to 10 Paths Tarot. Today we have a very interesting reading. This is for someone who is on a spiritual journey, who really wants to connect to spirit, who has been on this path for some time and is continuing on this path. And spirit just wants you to know that it is with you and it is helping you as you progress. And we start out with the High Priestess. This is someone who really wants to tap into that additional dimension, that interconnectedness with spirit. And they study, they learn, they practice, they try different practices. They are determined to feel united with the power at large. Whatever you want to call that power. They're just labels. We can label, and we do until we're exhausted. So next we have the Four of Swords. Now swords can be troubling thoughts or animosities in this case that can keep us divided from other people. And here we've turned those swords over to spirit as represented by these monks, these hooded figures, and they have all put the swords into the ground, and our eyes are turned to spirit. And as we progress, one of the key things here is we're trying to keep everything in perspective. Here we have a giant, and he has that spirit in his heart. Here he was looking towards spirit, and here it is in his heart. But he is trying very hard to keep everything in perspective. He is a giant, but what does the word giant mean? What does the word small mean? Because you can have the biggest animal and it will still have the same organs, the same parts, the same basic functioning as an animal that is so tiny. There is no true label, small and big. We just need something to scale things into our earthly brains. But in fact, it's all one. So that's why there is no scale. It's all one. We are part of the biggest animals. We are part of the smallest. We're all interconnected. And that is the kind of feeling we are going after in this spiritual quest. Now, as we go along from time to time, we have to leave behind these earthly cages, these earthly troubles that hinder us by distracting us. They're not really hindrances, because as long as we're here on earth, we are meant to live human lives, but sometimes we forget. We get so distracted by these earthly concerns that we forget to reconnect with what we in essence are. As you enter the current energy, you're doing it in a beautiful fashion. You are the Empress. You are protected by spirit. You feel that protection. And you wish no animosity on others. You want the best for the world. You feel like you can ask spirit for help and guidance, and it will be provided. Now, that is when you are at your best. That is when you are feeling that connection most strongly. But here comes Earth again, and then we have the Hierophant. And this is trying to force that interconnection into a set of rules governed by our ways of doing things here on Earth. But the rules don't really, in actuality, apply. Whether you listen to the dogma or whether you do not, you are nevertheless just as connected to spirit all of the time. And in this card, I'm not sure if you are the Hierophant. Have you gotten to the point where you feel so connected, you're starting to tell others they should do this, they need to do that, not taking into consideration that others are on their own spiritual quest, and you cannot always intervene. If they want your help, they will ask for it. They will come to you. Or are you this person in the corner who is now questioning why? What is the significance of these rules? If I'm already connected to spirit, why do I have to follow these practices? And so this is someone who is still on a journey. The journey has not ended. You will go through at least one more period of spiritual seeking, where you may have to turn your back on some of what you have already learned, some of the bounty you have, as you contemplate this interconnectedness and how it relates. But you are well on your way. And once you realize how interconnected everything is, and there is no more need to push everything into a set of regulations, then that is when the world becomes yours. That's when you realize the true beauty of it all, and it comes more naturally. That doesn't mean there won't be periods where you go back and forth, because we do get distracted here on earth. But those distractions will become less and less demanding of your attention. You'll be able to refocus more easily. And then at the end of this, Spirit says this is the end then of a cycle. And we have the Death card, which is looking at things anew. And they don't show up well because this card is so darkly printed. But down in the corner, there are 3 decapitated heads. One is a king, one is a commander, and that could represent anyone who had the authority to tell you what to do. And the last head was the head of this Hierophant, the head of this spiritual, I'll call him a leader. It's almost like he forces people to follow them by saying that spirit will not recognize you unless you do this and this and this. But spirit has already recognized you. You are already connected, and so is the Hierophant. We're all connected. And so once you realize that, you can leave behind those teachings and be truly one with spirit. Then you can truly have this world card. And when I say don't listen to the rules, that doesn't mean rules, regulations. That means spiritual shoulds and should nots. When someone is telling you you must do this to please God or to please spirit, he already loves you. You're already connected. Sometimes you will feel that connection more than others. Again, we get distracted while we're alive. But that doesn't mean we're any less connected. We're connected all of the time. And that is Spirit's message for you. You are on a beautiful journey, and it is ongoing. It is successful so far. You have been going in a very positive direction. You are accomplishing a lot in being able to, I hate to even say visualize how everything works, because vision has nothing to do with it. But you know what I mean. You're starting to be totally aware that we're one. And so that is Spirit's message today. I hope it helped you, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.